Okay, Kelley, if you can kind of take us through some of the pieces you have on exhibit.
I will. So this piece is called Hannah's Rose, and it is a digital collage. And what that means is the original was done on a very small piece of paper, and then I had it scanned and blown up. And all of the art that you see in here is part of a collage that the papers are made by myself. This was a adhering tattoo that I put on there, and these papers I made as well. And then I had, like I said, I had it blown up. And this was one of the first times collage ever really came together for me. It won, I think, second place in 2018 in the Walla Art in the Redwoods. And an interesting thing about this piece is I was in the studio discovery tour this summer, and a Chinese man came in and asked me why I had hung it this way. And I said, I don't know, I just did. What do you think? And he said, well, the characters are upside down. It should be hung the other way. And it actually looks better the other way, but I haven't had a chance to take off the pieces and turn it around.
That's interesting.
So this is another digital collage. It's called the Enchantress. And like Hannah's Rose, I did it on a very small piece of paper, and I felt that the energy of the piece needed to be blown up. So again, I had it scanned and blown up. And this piece won another prize in a collage at the Walla Arts in 2019. And all of this, the paper that it's on is a monoprint that I did. These are nails. And then I collaged the woman and the butterfly and the face. And then, as I said, I blew it all up. And this was another, these are done in the same time period. And this was another moment. I did this in the collage group locally at the Walla Arts. And it was actually one of the first times again that collage really came together for me.
Nice.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can I move on?
Yeah.
Okay. This one is called an analog collage, and the difference is this is real paper, real stamps. All of this is assemblage that is not is actually what you see is what you get. It's not been digitized, and this is all. The background of this is interesting because it's done on Citrosolve. So you take National Geographic paper, you put Citrosolve on it, the image, and it completely transforms the image to something different. And then I stamped and I stamped. And again, this was done at the same time as these were. This was another time when collage just kind of started to come together for me. And it's called Epic Journey. And you can see there's a woman and a little bit of a boat, and that's the story of that one. So this is a digital collage, and again, like Hannah's Rose, it was on a small piece of paper that this was a monoprint, and then I added everything on top of it, and then I blew it up. And the interesting thing about this is called a Quartz Flower, and it's from the island of Sumatra. It's ephemeral in that it only blooms rarely. It lives for about 24 hours, and the reason it's called a corpse flower is because it smells like rotting flesh when it dies.
Wow.
But it's beautiful. It's another digital collage. So the original of this is probably about this big, and it was I did it on a bound old Japanese book. All of the paper that you see here is paper that I made and then cut out hearts and just sort of put it all together. This was done with a spirograph. You know, when we were kids, we used to remember the old spirograph things.
Yeah.
And I just put it in the center, and that again I thought needed to be bigger, but the original is actually quite sweet because, like I said, it's only about this big.
Yeah.
This one is called Moving Towards Center. And this is a monoprint. And so what this is you have a surface like a silicone pad, and you put the acrylic paint on it, and you can embed things in it. And then it's like a surprise. You put the paper down, you lift it up, and that's what you have. And it just was compelling to me because this little square in the center, I didn't embed anything in this piece, so I don't have any idea where that square came from. And I love the colors, and that was done early on as well. Most of these pieces are earlier pieces. And this one is called Serpentine. It is layered acrylic, so it's not a collage. And the way that I got into actually doing art was I took a class with Diane Newman, and she taught me how to do layered acrylic. And a friend of mine saw it and said, you need to be in the Studio Discovery Tour. And that's how all of this started. So I originally started doing layered acrylic and moved on to collage. And I think that's about it.
That's great. Thanks a lot, Kelley.
Thank you.
Okay, Peter, if you could maybe show us a few of your pieces and tell us a little bit about them.
Sure. Well, let's start with the things I began with. Let's start with the sterling silver. And this is, for example, some of the work that I do. I take a sheet of silver and I cut it out with a tiny jeweler's saw, which is like a small coping saw, and the blade is like a couple of hairs thick, so I can get these really intricate patterns and designs, all freehand. And from there, I graduated to going even bigger. So here's some of my newer pieces. I did the sort of like stylized lightning bolt hoop earrings here. These are kind of fun.
Okay.
So some of my later work, which I'm doing more currently now, some of my Celtic work, some Celtic hoops that I've done. And even a takeoff on traditional Celtic lore is the Tri-Quatra, or the Three Sisters, Love, Beauty, and Power. Which I really have a strong affinity to the Celtic designs, being a Bailey, Irish heritage. So, what else is fun and new? Let's go over here. I then started doing what is called anodizing, where I'm taking this particular metal, this natural metal called niobium, and it's gray in its natural state, and I run about 90 volts of direct current through it underwater, and I paint with electricity underwater. And people say, "How can you do that? You're gonna die." It's like a hair dryer in a bathtub. No, it's not quite like that. I do have an electronic paintbrush where I can put the bristles directly onto the metal to make it go from gray in its natural state through the color spectrum, and it stays that way and it's permanent. So it really brings out the design, and the color is really quite spectacular. And from there, I went into rings. And so, for example, some of my newest pieces are, if you can see this, Celtic knot ring with diamonds. And I like the symbology of it too, because generally the unbreakable knot means unbreakable love or eternal love. And to combine that with the diamonds, it makes an excellent engagement or a wedding band. I also do for men. Here's a nice new ring I've worked on for a man. You can see this. It's like an ocean wave design in honor of our living here on the coast. In 18 karat yellow and white gold. It goes continuously around the piece, and it can be sized since I make these individually. A lot of fun.
Very nice.
And also, for being here at the gallery and on the coast, I did this freshwater pearl ring. And I did sort of an organic kind of design on the sides, sort of a seaweed design on the sides. I had a King Neptune crown to hold this sort of peach colored or natural pearl, freshwater pearl. And also an Art Nouveau design, which is kind of fun, with a Middle Eastern tourmaline, diamonds on the sides, and I like an Art Nouveau, very flowing kind of design. Great fun. Also, Celtic, of course, more Celtic. I do a traditional claddagh ring.
Oh, yeah.
There's the heart holding the hands of the crown. And then the hands mean loyalty, heart means love, and the crown means divinity. And so I also designed this chevron-shaped Celtic knot ring. And so they get stacked together. So commitment, promise ring, or whatever you'd like them to be, which is always kind of fun.
On the claddagh, Peter,
Yeah.
if the heart is facing outward, it's
Well, let's see. I'll put it on my finger so you can tell.
Yeah.
So if the heart is going towards your body, that means your heart is taken. And if it's turned the other way, that means your heart's available.
yeah, that was it.
That's the way it goes. So there's that. Another wave design ring with amethysts. All sits low, no prongs to catch on anything, and they go around.
Nice.
All sorts of fun things. And let's see, this is kind of like the culmination of work I've been doing for the last 42 years. So started off doing art shows, then I sold to 400 stores and galleries around the United States, and that drove me mad. And so I got rid of all my sales reps for galleries. Now I just sell to particular galleries like this one here, and I mostly sell to collectors and people who commission me to do wedding bands or any kind of special ring for their needs.
Thanks a lot, Peter. That was great.
Thank you.